I just watched a video of several young women celebrating Mandhani and socialism. In another video, a young man was asked which is his favorite socialist country. He responded that he had so much information in his head, he didn't know how to answer. The reporter pressed him by asking China, Venezuela, Cuba. He smiled and responded, "Yes, oh yeah, Cuba. Let's discuss what's happening in Cuba now. Median salary in Cuba is $16 to $18 per month. High earners can make approximate $35. These are your doctor and engineers, etc. This median salary can buy you 21 eggs for the month. A liter of milk could cost you your whole salary. Meanwhile, the cost of electricity will run a household approximately $33 per month. But please don't think that that means they get unlimited electricity. The majority of the population experiences power cuts that often last half the day or more. Many wake up in the early hours of the morning when electricity is briefly restored to cook, pump water, or iron clothes. In addition to the daily rolling blackouts, the entire national grid has experienced multiple total collapses, nationwide blackouts, with some instances leaving the island completely dark for several days. So how do Cubans survive? The short answer is capitalism, yes. Cubans survive from tips for servicing the tourism industry and remittances, money sent to them by family members outside the island. Although it's impossible to pinpoint because much of the money is taken into the island by mules, estimates range between $1.9 and $3.7 billion annually. So Cubans work in our capitalist nation and support their families struggling by the curse of communism socialism. Why do I say curse? Let me explain. When Fidel Castro, who had never had a job, remind you of anyone else, started fighting to bring his Marxist ideologies to the island, many Cubans posted signs on their doors that read, translated, "Who needs Jesus when, and we have Fidel?" Some of these signs are still hanging on doors. In previous thoughts, I have discussed how you can't be a socialist communist and be a Christian, so I won't address that again. Cuba does not need civil war or revolution to get rid of this repressive system. They need national repentance and a heartfelt turning to Jesus. Yesterday, I was speaking to a customer, and he told me he really didn't know very much about socialism, so he decided to educate himself so that he could vote the right way. So May and the US need to do the same. Since Tuesday's election, I have stayed away from the news. I just don't need the commentary. But as I was researching the news for our daily updates, the general consensus is that the Democrats won big because President Trump has not sufficiently addressed the affordability issue. In my opinion, is it not about affordability? It's about equality. Young people are sold on the idea of equality. Everyone deserves everything. What do the scriptures say about this? Acts chapter 10 verses 34 to 35. So Peter opened his mouth and said, "Truly I understand that God shows no partiality, but in every nation anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him. We are equal in God's eyes." 2 Corinthians chapter 8 verses 13 to 14. I do not mean that others should be eased and you burdened, but that as a matter of fairness, your present abundance might supply their need, so that their abundance also might supply your needs. This verse defines equality not as everyone owning the same amount, but as a reciprocal balance where those who have a surplus use it to meet the needs of those who have a shortfall, ensuring everyone has enough, so that their abundance might supply your need, that there may be equality. The context is within the Christian community. While these and other verses on giving and compassion are taken out of context by many, a limited knowledge of the scriptures teaches us about stewardship and responsibility. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 10. For even when we were with you, we gave you this command. If anyone is not willing to work, neither should he eat. The parable of the talents, Matthew chapter 25 verse 14-30, gives us an example of how God deals with us when it comes to stewardship and accountability. Shocking that the master takes away the talent from the one servant and gives it to the one that had 10. Personally, I am devastated by the ignorance and lack of knowledge by some who choose to believe the Marxist ideology, the lie that we should all receive equal portions, and we will all live happily thereafter. There will be consequences to these elections, financial and spiritual. Check your heart today. Make sure you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is your supplier and not Baal. Pray for our nation that this movement towards Christ will continue, because look up, Jesus is coming soon.